So that was the first part of the Marjorie Taylor Greene saga. And now Fox News, which is the propaganda arm of the Republican Party, and the psychopaths over at the House of Representatives were like, haha, actually, the real person that needs to be kicked out of the Republican Party is Liz Cheney, which I agree with, by the way, just by virtue of being related to Dick Cheney, who is a demon. I don't even mind purging Liz Cheney from the American government, but they want to purge Liz Cheney. Why? Because she is on board with Donald Trump being impeached for the insurrection, and instead they want to protect Marjorie Taylor Greene. And the way they want to do that is by doing the classic no you status, which is it's a really powerful card. This is not a tier 1 defense. This is probably a tier 3 defense. Republicans apply this all the time. It's they activate this. They activated this card during the Roy Moore saga, if you remember. And because Democrats hurt themselves in confusion so frequently that during the Roy Moore saga, if you recall, it came out that there was a lot of credible pedophilia accusations. He wasn't allowed to be near the vicinity of his fucking mall in his hometown because he was like, trying to pick up girls there, like R. Kelly outside of a high school. And what ended up happening is Republicans were like, oh yeah, well here's the reverse card. Al Franken is a domestic abuser, rapist as well, or some shit like that. And why did that happen? Because a Fox News commentator came out and said Al Franken touched me over my Kevlar vest while I was sleeping. And because everyone was so heated at the time, immediately Democrats were like, oh yeah, we need to get Al Franken out of here. And Al Franken then resigned. And it is a powerful card, is what I mean. Like, it is definitely a powerful card. And you could make the argument that in the Al Franken case, like, that was something that Al Franken did was bad, despite the fact that the original person said, yeah, I accept his apology. It's not that big of a deal. That part never got discussed ever again. And none of that really matters with Al Franken. He's now making podcasts and stuff, and I think he's just he looks disheveled and crazy. But regardless, Al Franken, that was a scalp that the Republicans were able to take and literally argue that Roy Moore is actually good while simultaneously saying Al Franken is actually bad. It was actually bad that Al Franken did what he did while they were still advocating for Roy Moore and saying everything that you say about Roy Moore is a lie. So really cool stuff from the Republicans, and it was an instance where it worked. Hopefully in this circumstance, it won't fucking work because protect Ilhan Omar at all costs. Ilhan Omar did nothing wrong. Ilhan Omar has said nothing wrong. It's by virtue of her existence that people are saying she must be anti-Semitic and shit like that. Okay? So here's what the Republicans are doing now to defend against the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. They are attacking Ilhan Omar.
Bill, is that there are some Republicans...
Oh, but before we get to this portion of the argument or of the video, I do have to run our first top of the hour, every hour, 60-second ad break right now. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and NBs, it's time once again. It's a 60-second ad break. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. The Twitch Prime is free, ladies and gentlemen, by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking money away from Jeff Bezos, giving it to me, but no longer is Jeff Bezos the CEO, which we're going to be talking about later as well. So here's the ad. Yeah, get those last Twitch Primes out. The last opportunity from Jeff Bezos to now.
Who want to strip Representative Ilhan Omar of her committee assignments. What's that all about?
Yeah, so that is the rebuttal from Republicans after Democrats seized on a moment to try to make freshman Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene the face of the Republican Party. They have launched a $500,000 ad campaign linking House Republicans to QAnon because of her controversial comments and embrace of conspiracy theories. Now, there was an hours-long meeting last night where Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy met with Greene to try to work out some sort of punishment over those comments she made. made. But Greene evidently did not back down, and now Republicans are floating the idea of stripping Greene of just one of her committees to appease Democrats. But others say if Democrats are going to come after Greene, then Ilhan Omar's fair game. A proposed amendment calls for Omar to be removed from her committee assignments as well in light of conduct she has exhibited, arguing she's made anti-Semitic comments in the past. Now, Democrats are already fighting back. Congressman Dean Phillips wrote, "Get a grip on reality. Representative Omar didn't belittle a school shooting survivor, claim that no airplane hit the Pentagon on 9/11, insist lasers started the California wildfires, or endorse the assassination of the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives." Now, GOP leadership is awaiting a status report, also amid pressure to oust Representative Liz Cheney of her leadership post after she voted to impeach President Trump. So you've got a battle happening on both ends of the Republican Party right now, and Democrats are really seizing on the moment, Dana.
Jackie, thanks for getting us kicked off this morning. Appreciate it.
Nice to see you. Jackie Juan Williams with me now. Josh Holmes as well. Gentlemen, welcome to the program and good morning. Let's pick up on the Ilhan Omar tit for tat. She said Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. She later said it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Is this a tit for tat, Juan? And would you understand that?
I think it's not an equivalent at all, Bill. But, you know, I understand what's going on here. This is politics. It's hardball. And given what's going on in terms of the war, civil war within the Republican Party over Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, you hear what's coming from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, saying that basically her conspiracy theories and ideas are a cancer within the Republican Party and tearing at the fabric of the country. I think there are people who then say, well, let's find a vulnerable Democrat and try to go after her to try to, you know, dilute the power of what's being said about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Well, that brings up what I wanted to talk about with Josh, because...
Well, I guess I didn't really need to say anything because, you know, Juan already covered everything. Like, I was going to say those things, but he already said them, which is why I don't need to say it again. But the only thing that you can shit on Ilhan Omar about, the only thing that is like the edge case that you could fucking shit on Ilhan Omar on is the hypnotized language that she used when she was like, Israel hypnotized America or the world or whatever the fuck she said a very long time ago. That is, again, like nothing in comparison to what Marjorie Taylor Greene has said a long ass fucking time ago. That's not the reason why they're shitting on her. The reason why they're shitting on her is because she has criticized Israel now, and they actually, there is more you can shit on Ilhan Omar over. She said she said Thatcher was her female icon. That was pretty bad, but that's not something that these dipshits would ever get upset about at all. That's normal stuff that, you know, every fucking Democrat and Republican says. She did say that. She said Thatcher was a girl boss. She sucks at Among Us? No, she doesn't. She was really good at fucking murdering people at Among Us. Was that a joke? What? No, that wasn't a joke. She didn't say Thatcher was a girl boss, but she said something like, she said something along the lines of like Thatcher was her like icon or idol or something like that. Anyway, Ilhan Omar is one of the, in my opinion, one of the greatest congresspersons in contemporary American politics. I love her. I think she's awesome. She's my favorite politician, that's for sure. I like her more than AOC even. I think she's awesome. She's great. She is very fucking brave, okay? For being able to do what she does, she is literally fucking brave. You could call me a simp all you want, but this person is at the crosshairs of the Democratic Party. She's at the crosshairs of the Republican Party all the time. And the Democrats are gigantic pieces of shit for constantly throwing her under the bus, or at least lighting the fire over and over again, allowing Republicans to even use this as a line of attack to be like, yeah, Ilhan Omar is anti-Semitic, actually. That's true. She is anti-Semitic. Like, fuck you. You guys are all pieces of shit for not defending her. I have tremendous fucking respect for her. I think she is brilliant. I think she's great. She is a much needed voice. And that's all I got to fucking say. And yeah, I am very much on the Ilhan Omar Defense Brigade. One of the funniest arguments was when she talked about AIPAC and the power that AIPAC holds, like the power of influence AIPAC wields over the American Congress. And everyone was like, that's so anti-Semitic. It's literally a fucking lobbying firm that's not anti-Semitic. Criticizing Israel is not saying Jews are bad, okay? And beyond that, criticizing AIPAC, which is a special interest lobbying group for Israel, for American Israelis, but operates at the behest of Israel, that has literally fucking curbed back American free speech laws in the most significant and most unconstitutional way possible, successfully, by the way, by making teachers and shit sign like BDS forms before they can get a job. Saying that is a powerful lobby is anti-Semitism is psychotic. Especially considering the fact that Israel's most staunch defenders in this country are not American Jews, with the exception of some very powerful and very wealthy American Jews. Haim Saban on the Democratic side, Sheldon Adelson, rest in piss, on the Republican side. With the exception of some people, American Jews are conflicted on Israel. They are not fully on board with Israel. It's actually the fucking white evangelical Protestants that love Israel and like zealots decide that Israel can never do anything bad, and actually they should continue killing Palestinians. So, I feel like hypnotizing the world is a pretty accurate statement. Is it wrong because anti-Semitic people can feel emboldened by this rhetoric? Hypnotizing is definitely a fucking callback to, I mean, dude, like, Jews can do hypnosis and shit like that is regular anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Sorry, that's just the truth. Okay? Like, that has been, I've talked about conspiracy theories and how anti-Semitism is rooted within the heart of most conspiracies before. Like, literally fucking, it is a very common conspiracy theory. It is a very common fascist talking point. Like, you know, Jewish curse, Jewish hypnosis, they are dog whistles for sure. You're stretching, bro. Israel's definitely hypnotized the world. If you live on no trust of both sides of this shit. Man, I criticize fucking Israel all the goddamn time. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm simply stating that using, dude, I can't even fucking say using hypnotizing was a bad fucking, bad way to talk about that. No, it's not. It is literally a bad way to talk about it. But outside of that, you can't attack her on anything. It's fucking bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Unless she means Gal Gadot, who has hypnotized me into believing that she should be the leading actress in movies, regardless of her limited range. Yeah. You substitute hypnotize to manipulate, and boom, it's done. You fixed that problem. That is some OG anti-Jew, anti-Roma shit. Yup. For sure. 100%. So, look, dude, guys, I am unfortunately too well-versed in conspiracy theories. So when I hear something like that, I'm like, that you could say that that's anti-Semitic for sure. Regardless, though, it doesn't matter because, again,
Yep.
It's just fucking bullshit. The rest of it is bullshit. The rest of it is a massive stretch. And Democrats engaged in that, by the way. Like, Democrats actually fucking engaged in this witch hunt against Ilhan Omar. So, didn't she say she didn't know hypnotism was linked with anti-Semitism? She did. She did say that. I'm stating that, like, even though she did apologize for it, that is like the only thing that you could ever fucking criticize her for her usage of the word hypnosis because of its fucking anti-Semitic dog whistle, basically. But she herself is ESL. That could have been part of the reason. But again, she fucking apologized for it. Doesn't mean literally hypnosis. She means manipulated. And regardless of that, I'm still 100% on board and defending her. English is her third, fourth language. Yeah, it's not even fucking second language. Most people don't even know that, though. Most people don't think that's the fucking anti-Semitism. Most people think she's just anti-Semitic because she has a fucking hijab and she's brown and she's Muslim. Okay? That's the reality. I'm sorry. That's literally the fucking reality. Most people just think, oh, you're Muslim. You must be anti-Semitic. You must hate Jews. No one, and absolutely no one fucking ever says criticizing Saudi Arabia is criticizing Islam, okay? And they shouldn't say that. I criticize Saudi Arabia all the goddamn time. Not a single person has ever come up to me and been like, dude, I can't believe how fucking Islamophobic you are. But as soon as you fucking criticize Israel, okay? Oh, dude, you must be anti-Semitic. Why are you being anti-Semitic? Fucking bullshit, okay? It is an abused fucking defense mechanism for anyone who dare criticize the IDF. Israelis themselves do not, there are Israelis themselves who do not like what the fuck Bibi Netanyahu is doing. Plenty of them don't like it. There are American Jews who are definitely not on board with what Israel is doing to Palestinians. They don't like it. It's fucking bullshit. Literally linking fucking every action that Israel takes, no matter how violent, to the international Jewish community is psychotic. And it's fucking bullshit. And it's the number one line of defense. And it's the number one way to just like abolish leftists from every fucking conversation. Ironic that I'm wearing the Jezza shirt today as I talk about this, because that was literally how they fucking railed on Jezza. And if you want to understand that reactionary right-wing conservatives do not give a single fuck about Israel or anything like that, and specifically use this as an attack point against the left or whoever the fuck they've declared to be bad, Jeremy Corbyn's story is perfect. The entire reactionary news apparatus in the UK literally cumstered and dumpstered Jeremy Corbyn and basically handicapped him into not being able to talk about anything else. This is the only thing that they talked about during the election cycle. And meanwhile, while that was fucking happening to Jeremy Corbyn, well, everyone was like, oh, dude, you're anti-Semitic. Like, can you please respond to the anti-Semitism accusations? On the other side, the fucking Tories were like building Nancy Astor statues. Okay? Like literally, a woman who has said Hitler had some good ideas about the Jews was getting a statue, while the entire right-wing media, or not the entire right-wing media, the entire British media was shitting on Jeremy Corbyn. It's fucking bullshit. Okay? Anyway. So, thoughts on BDS being labeled anti-Semitic? No, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's and BDS originally was against the South African apartheid. By the way, Israel is an apartheid state. Sorry, that's the truth. Yeah, a survey came out where 40% of British Jews would have seriously considered fleeing Britain if he was the new prime minister. That's how absolutely deranged that media cycle was. Yeah, I know. I remember. I was there. I was covering it. The irony is, yes, the people that did that report on Labour anti-Semitism refused to do a report on the Tory Islamophobia. But my favorite report from that group, by the way, was, get ready for this, universities in Scotland and Ireland, are they too Anglophobic? That group. And this shows you how fucking insanely conservative they are. They literally wrote a report on how Scottish and Irish universities, and I think universities in the Wales, Welsh universities were too negative towards the British, or too negative towards the English. If anything, they weren't Anglophobic enough, bruv. It's true. They literally fucking, like, it is just, conservatives are the same everywhere, guys. That's the point, okay? Conservatives are the fucking same everywhere on the planet, no matter where you go. That is like textbook Republican Party shit, dude. Textbook. Stop lying. All the Muslims are anti-Semitic, and you know that, LMAO. Stop capping. All the Muslims are anti-Semitic. Everybody knows that. You just lie. I'm a Turk myself, and I know it, and you know it too. It's in their culture, in their religion. It does not have anything to do with Israel. Muslims love to conquer, but when they get conquered, they start crying, and lefties kill themselves to protect them. Don't lie to yourself. Wow, this guy seems like a real... Young Dagger Dick seems like a real Turkish Muslim, huh? Bro, you are capping. I'm a Turkish Muslim, bro. I know. Wow, I'm going to ban him because he outed me. Yeah. Fucking. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. It's so great. Again, conservatives, the same everywhere, okay? It's great. Conservatives love to talk about, like, how the Democrats want to do one world order. They want a fucking communist one world government. And then they literally operate in the exact same way. Like, they have a hive mind. And again, acting like you are the person, acting like you're from the identity of the fucking group of individuals is like textbook conservatism. Oh yeah, I'm a gay black man, and I don't think that I don't think it's bad to say the N word or the F word. I like it. I like it a lot. As a gay black man, I think it's bullshit that people are saying. It's actually homophobic if you don't say the F word and the N word. It's racist. Okay, brother. Thank you. Yeah. HasanAbi. I'm actually a black man, a black man. And racism died when Obama was president, and he's Kenyan. So, and he wasn't born in the United States. We did that for, I'm black, but as a fellow black, we all know Obama was from Kenya. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going.
Marjorie Taylor Greene responded to McConnell saying that by tweeting this, that the real cancer for the Republican Party is weak Republicans who only know how to lose gracefully. This is why we are losing our country. How do you see it, Josh?
Yeah, it's so absurd, Dana. I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. I mean, the things that this woman has said over the last 2 years while she's been campaigning, let alone beyond that, go way beyond the pale. But to respond to what Juan was saying, I think the difference between Republicans and Democrats in Congress is...
Why do you defend right-wing religions? Because religion isn't fucking inherently right-wing, dipshit. It is the fucking right-wing assholes or conservatives that make religion into a weapon for the conservative movement. Absolutely zero people, when faced with the religious scripture, absolutely zero people think religion is supposed to be about, like, unless you're like a r/atheism guy. Zero people think like religion is supposed to be all about supply side Jesus and the economic lessons that supply side Jesus taught us about how curing the lepers was actually a conversation about the importance of making sure that your private insurer was able to take as much money off the top as possible as the middleman. Like that's not how that fucking works. Like, you got the most anti-capitalist brown motherfucker who was a hippie, who was literally fucking curing poor people for free and shit. And Christians all around the world in positions of power make it seem like Jesus was literally fucking pro-capitalism. You know what I mean? It's bullshit. Religion has good lessons in it and bad lessons in it. It's just what you make it. I have this conversation every fucking time. Religion has been used. Christianity was used to justify slavery. Christianity was also at the forefront of the abolition movement. Christianity has been justified. Christianity has been used to justify the oppression of black people. Martin Luther King was a fucking reverend. Stop alienating billions of people for believing some shit that I don't even fucking believe in either. But they believe in it. They believe in it super fucking hard. They think it's their entire world. Okay? You believe in psychotic nonsense as well, my friend. That's just the truth. You just don't recognize it as being psychotic. We all have dogmatic thoughts about or dogmatic beliefs on certain issues. Most of you think capitalism is the greatest economic organization that the world has ever seen and no other way to live. You believe in the capitalism dogma. Are you religious? No, man. No, of course I'm not fucking religious, dude. What are you talking about?
I just got here and he's already stunned.
Is that when extremism threatens to define their party, you've watched time and again Republicans step forward and say, no, thank you, we'll define ourselves. And that goes all the way back to Congressman McCarthy talking about Steve King. If you remember on the racist comments he had, McCarthy moved very quickly to strip him of his committee assignments. They are considering doing the same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Conversely, you watch Nancy Pelosi do absolutely nothing about Ilhan Omar, and in fact embrace her and put her on plum committee assignments. So look, I think extremism can go on both sides. I think the vast majority of Americans would agree with that, but there's only really one party that's taking acknowledgement of it.
How about that, Juan?
Well, I think we have to define what we consider to be extremism. I think attacks on Israel that are unfounded are political. I don't know that I would say they're extreme. I think threatening...
Wait for it. Build up for it. Anti-Semitism incoming. Are you ready? Juan, are you anti-Semitic? Why do you think it's okay to criticize Israel this way? He's not going to say criticize Israel. He's going to say, why do you want every Jew living on Palestinian Israeli soil to fucking get eviscerated, Juan? Because you must feel that way.
Well, a lot of people take it to be anti-Semitic, as you know.
Well, we can agree on that if you want, but I'm just saying it's not shooting somebody in the head. It's not suggesting that somehow the Jewish community was involved in paying for a laser to start the wildfires in California. To me, that is something that is disinformation, and it tears again at the fabric of the society. We can have arguments over Israel, and we can even say that we think some of them are anti-Semitic, and we can have repercussions, and I think there are justified repercussions for anti-Semitic statements.
But let's be clear.
By the way, the other part of this that I don't mention enough, unfortunately, is that part of the reason why people get very, very skeptical or very, very worried as soon as you hear about criticisms of Israel is because a lot of fucking actual fascists will couch their hatred of Jews and their hatred of Jewish people, their anti-Semitism, in legitimate criticisms of Israel. So, and one way to figure out whether someone's a fascist or not is a denial of the Holocaust, right? Like, that's because fascists fucking hate Jews for the most part. Even if they hate Jews privately, they publicly might love Israel. Viktor Orban is a great example of this. But again, like Nazis and fascists, they deny the Holocaust. They say, oh, I'm just criticizing Israel. That's why you got people like fucking Nicholas Fuentes, for example, that shit on Israel routinely. But also, they're, on top of that, they're like literally fucking fascists. Like, they don't give a shit. They don't actually care. They don't care about Israel doing acts of unspeakable acts of violence against the Palestinians, which they unfortunately have sovereignty over. They fucking care about it because they hate the Jews. One way to recognize that is by asking them what their opinions are on Islam or Muslims in general. Okay? But that's part of the reason why some people are worried as soon as they hear someone be critical of Israel or whatever. And they assume, like, wait a minute, is this person fucking anti-Semitic?
What she's doing is of a whole different kettle of fish.
One might be weird and kooky, Josh. The other is seen as racist.
Yeah, but we're talking about just whataboutism, right? How about all of it go? I mean, I don't understand why it is that we have to look at...
Wait, but you're literally defending the whataboutism. What the fuck? Wait, what? Jews are a race? Jews literally... Like, Jews are closer to a fucking race than any other religion. We always say, like, oh, you're being racist when we talk about Muslims, and people are like, well, that's fucking a belief. That's like it's an ethnicity. Like, there's different ethnicities within the Jewish religion. But as far as, like, cultural background, actually, it's not a race, but Jews have different ethnic backgrounds internationally. You have Sephardic Jews. You have wait, what the fuck was the other one? There's like three. There's like three main ethnic groups. Ashkenazism, yes. Ashkenazism, sorry, Sephardism and Mizrahi. So again, you can totally be fucking racist towards Jewish people. You can totally be racist towards fucking Muslim people in a similar way. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, and people do that all the time. There is this like notion that like, Jewish people are not a race. Shut the fuck up. Like, dude, yeah, but it's the same as fucking how people say Islam is not a race. And therefore you can be Islamophobic and it's not racist. You're just criticizing religion. And then whenever Islamophobic people are fucking angry, they go out and kill sick people. Not like ill, I mean sick. Why? Because they look Muslim. You understand? It is ethnicity. It is ethnicity. Not a race, but racialized and put in proximity to blackness is similar to Muslims, as you said. Yes. Racialized.
At one side or the other and put our jerseys on and understand that, like, okay, I got to defend the indefensible here because they wear, you know, a Republican shirt. No, thank you. Marjorie Taylor Greene, no, thank you. Ilhan Omar, no, thank you. Let's call it a day.
Let me get in here on another topic.
Let's not fucking call it a day, dipshit. What the fuck do you mean, dude? Let's call it a day. Come on, let's get one. One for one. Blood for the blood god.
And that is the idea that people are trying to figure out, coming up with some ideas to deal with disinformation. One of them would be, this is from the New York Times, how the Biden administration can help solve our reality crisis by creating some sort of reality czar. It was just an idea he put forward, but here's what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had to say about it.
There's absolutely a commission that's being discussed. We're going to have to figure out how we rein in our media environment so that you can't just spew disinformation and misinformation.
Yo, that's terrifying, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not on board with that at all. Fuck. It's needed, but also at the same time, I'm legitimately fucking scared of that, dude. I don't want the fucking American government to decide what's true and what's not fucking true. That's crazy. That's terrifying. Then Ilhan Omar will go to jail. Okay, I will go to jail.
So she said that earlier this month, Juan. What's your take on it? You love free speech.
I do, but I also realize we're in an era of social media where lots of disinformation, just pure distortion, is allowed, and I think it is. You know, it's hurting our political discourse to the point it's hard to have an honest discussion without people on the extremes. And, you know, I just want to say thank you to Josh, because I think we don't need to put on red and blue uniforms to say when we're dealing with lies and things that have add no value to real discussion and attempts to solve real problems in our country, we all need to come together and say, stop it.
We'll leave it on that.
I'm worried about that for sure, because whenever there's any sort of rollback on free speech, it's the fucking left that gets owned about it. It's the left that gets owned in that circumstance.
I can't believe I have been on this ride for 15 months.
You kind of shit on her for it, but Angela Merkel is right on that front. Who decides then corporations is a gray issue? I think having hate speech restrictions is not a bad thing. It goes against the First Amendment, or I guess it's a reinterpretation of the First Amendment. I don't have a disagreement on that front. But having the government decide what is truthful and what's not truthful, and like what they will do on top of that, I feel like is a little bit worrisome. Not even a little bit, a lot worrisome actually. Hate speech restrictions similar to what they have in European countries is not the end of the world. It's not a bad thing overall. It still doesn't stop Nazism, okay? Like, that's the problem, is that, like, fascism still grows.
Hassel has buff, Hassel has buff, Hassel.
How about standards for the things to use word news reporting or everything else explicitly state that they're entertainment? What are you supposed to do in the even another of they stole the election disinformation campaign on MSM? I think holding platforms accountable is unironically important in that situation. I don't know. I have to think about it further. Because, like, the reason, the way that this comes through, brain dead take, it's 100% a lib policy that doesn't do jack shit good. The issue is, like, media companies have terms of service, but they don't fucking follow through on the terms of service. They never do. They never restrict hate speech. I mean, guys, Mark Zuckerberg literally fucking said openly, you can deny the Holocaust on my platform and I won't ban you. They only recently changed that rule. Okay? And I don't know. Well, I know how to solve it, but the problem is solving this issue is going to take a fuckload of manpower and a lot of time. These are growing pains that we're experiencing, as internet is still a relatively new technology, okay? This kind of freedom of being able to reach to billions of people if you want to, if you are lucky enough, or if you've worked hard enough, is a relatively new thing. There is now unlimited access to all kinds of information out there. Some of it is good, some of it is bad, okay? The most significant way you can combat it is by educating people, teaching media literacy, teaching critical thinking, not fucking defunding our public schools over and over again, and reappropriating those funds to private institutions and you know, charter schools and shit like that. But again, that takes a long ass time. In a statistic from Italy that 4% Italians denied the Holocaust in 2004 and 15% denied it in 2020. Disinformation is based on the intent to mislead, while misinformation is usually accidental. The potential law should make that clear. It's all about intent. Yeah, that's one way, I guess, but again, who decides what's truthful and what's not? What's your take on Germany's hate speech laws? Good. That's not a problem. It's not a. I don't have a problem with Germany's hate speech laws. It's also not a fucking solution, though, as you see what is going on with the AfD's resurgence or rise of influence in Germany. They just look for other ways around it, right? It becomes a game. But the real reason why that's occurring is still the underlying material conditions, the socioeconomic situation that working class Germans are subjected to that makes them ripe to be radicalized.